Welcome back, class. Today we're going to go over IXL 5, F5, and work on simplifying, putting fractions in the lowest terms. Again, this is very important. You're going to do it all throughout your fraction time that you do. All right, so let's get started. The first fraction we have up here is 2/8. Now with 2/8, what you're going to do first, if you remember, think if you remember the step. What is that first step? You are going to find the factors of 2 and 8. So for 2, we have 1 and 2. Well, I'm to that other side as we've been talking about. So there's no numbers between 1 and 2. So now I'm going to do 8. I have 1 and 8. Then I have 2 and 4. 3 doesn't work. There's not anything times 3 that equals 8. So after that, we are to the other side. We're to that 4. So I'm going to go through and circle all the ones it has in common. 1 and 2. So I'm going to divide 2/8 by that greatest common factor, or GCF as you might hear it. So if I divide that by 2, I'm going to get 1/4 because I divided 2 by 2, got 1. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So I have 1/4. Okay. Now the next one we have is 3/6. You can probably look at that. This line right here, that fraction bar, is also a division sign. What is 3 divided by 6? Or rather, 6 divided by 3. Well, it's 2, which means this would be 1/2. Okay, so another way that you could have done that, because you knew that 3 is half of 6. That's how you know the answer is 1/2. You could also do the factors 1 and 3. 2 doesn't work. Then I do 1 and 6, 2 and 3, and I divide each one by 3. So 3/6 divided by 3. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. 6 divided by 3 is 2. So there's that 1/2 again. Okay, this next one is 6/8. Sometimes you can just look at it and know, and that's okay as long as you double check your final result. So here you can see they're both even, and you could probably just divide that by 2. But I do want you practicing writing out your factors as well to double check yourself. So 1 and 6, then 2 times 3. For the denominator, the bottom number, you have 1 and 8, 2 and 4. 3 does not work, so I'm to the other side. I'm to the next number, which is 4. So the ones they have in common are 1, and 2. So we're going to divide 6/8 divided by 2. I got a little crazy there. Okay, so that's going to give you 6 divided by 2 is 3. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 3/4. Do you remember before I told you if these numbers are 1 apart, the numerator and the denominator, it's for sure in simplest form? Right, now we have 8/10. So 1 and 8, 2 and 4. 3 does not work. We're to the other side. 10 is 1 and 10. 2 and 5. 3 does not work. 4 does not work. So we have 1 and 2 in common, and 2 is our greatest common factor. So we're going to divide by it. You get 4/5. 4/5. Okay, here we have 4/8. Do you remember how to figure this one out? By just looking at it? 4 is half of 8, so you know the answer is 1/2. Okay, here we have 3/9. 1 and 3. 2 doesn't work. So you have 1 and 9. 2 doesn't work. And then 3 times 3, but we only write the 3 one time. So 3 is our greatest common factor. So 3/9 divided by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 9 divided by 3 is 3. Okay, I'm going to skip ahead a level. Okay, we have 2/4. Remember, 2 is half of 4. So it's 1/2. Okay, we have 3/12. So you're going to find the factors. If you look at this number, we have 3/12. If you look at this 3 and you know that you can divide the denominator by the 3, that's going to give you a unit fraction. I'm going to go ahead and factor this out and then tell you what a unit fraction is when I'm done. Okay? But if you know that you can divide by this top number, you can just divide by that top number. Unless your assignment was to show all the factors. But on simplest form, if you know it's the top one, go ahead and just do the top one. So I'm going to still go ahead and do all of the factoring. So 12, I have 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 times 4, and now I'm to the other side because there's no numbers between 3 and 4. So 1 is in common, 3 is in common, and that is all. So when I divide 3/12 divided by 3, I get 1/4. When you have a fraction with a 1 on top, like 1/4 is, that's called a unit fraction. So anytime you have 1 on top. Okay, now this one, you can't divide by 15. You can't divide 20 by 15. So the factors, I'm going to do 1 and 15. 2 doesn't work because it's not even. I'm going to try 3 times 5. Knowing your multiplication really helps with this. 4 doesn't work. And then I'm to the other side with the 5. So for 20, 1 and 20, 2 and 10, 3 does not work because if I skip count, I'm not going to get to 20. So, in case you've forgotten, what we're doing is we would be skip counting 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. So I went past it, I never got there. So then I do 4s, and I know 4 times 5 is 20. There's no numbers between here, no whole numbers. So I'm to that other side right here. So that means I'm ready to circle again. They have 1 in common, and they have 5 in common, and that looks like the only 2. So 5 is the greatest common factor. So I'm going to take 15/20 and divide that by 5. So when I divide that, I get 3/4. 3/4. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and skip another level. So now we're doing bigger numbers. I have 24, but you're in 24/39. You're still doing the exact same thing. You just have larger numbers. So I have 1 in 24. They're bigger numbers. I might give myself a bigger gap. 2 times 12. 3 times 8. 4 times 6. Now 5 doesn't work, and then you're to 6 again, and you already have that. For 39, you're going to do 1 and 39. 2 doesn't work because it's not even. Now for 3, most of you only know to 3 times 12, which is 36, so you can divide it to double check yourself for numbers past the 12, so past 3 times 12. So as I divide, I see that 13 times 3, so this number times this number is what I'm writing, so 3 times 13. 4, I know 4 doesn't work. 5, it doesn't end in a 0 or 5. 6, no, I know it goes 6 times 6 is 36, and then 6 times 4, 6 times 7 is 42. So now I'm trying 7, no, 8 doesn't work, 9 doesn't work, 10 doesn't work, 11 doesn't work, and 12 doesn't work, so I am now to that other side. I still had to think about all of those factors, and if I wasn't sure, I would divide them out, or skip count if you don't know your facts really quick. Now I'm circling all of the ones they have in common. So 3 is their greatest common factor, their GCF. So 24/39 divided by 3. 24 divided by 3 is 8. 39 divided by 3, we just learned, is 13. So 8/13 should be our answer. All right, so I would like you to go ahead and work on your assignment, and if you have any questions, you can rewatch the video, look back at the factors, or ask me, and I will be happy to help you the best I can. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.